All right. Hello, hello. I just listened to your messages just to have everything fresh. So I really hope that and I know that the surgery will go well. But yeah. I'm really happy that somehow I saved, I was one day off. Somehow like that one like didn't get deleted, so I'm really happy I re-listened to those. Um, okay, so I have everything hidden as you said. Like name. So, oh, yeah, this changes a lot. Let's pop this open. Yeah, so I think like with the surgeries and everything, like your sixth house is ruled by Pisces, so your daily work and you're a medium, as you said. So I think that, North Node, where you at? In Scorpio, yeah. So you're meant to change, people's life. You're here to really accept change, um, accept kind of the crazy things that happen in life, and you are a healer in a past life, Chiron and South Node conjunction, and you're really here to yeah. I mean that's like Uranus with North Node and Scorpio. That's like literally like a I mean, I know it already, but like that's very psychic right? It's like you're here to inform Scorpio, the public, the people, your clients, um, about their deepest selves, right? Scorpio, in using downloads, Uranus, right? And on a personal level, a lot of the karmic mission is about this, as a Libra rising, it flips everything around, but basically it's about being able to relinquish the need for control. I think of South Node in Taurus as um, I guess on a karmic level, it can be someone, and you have your Black Moon Lilith there too in Jupiter. It can be someone who, in past lives, has a tendency to take the safe and sound road, and it's not a bad thing, right? And like I said, Chiron is there, so you've brought in a lot of healing energy. Um, but another aspect of it is not wallowing in self-pity in this lifetime. It really is um about like through things like the surgery, like developing the strength to overcome adversity, right? And um kind of seeing, gaining that perspective, which I know you've gained, of seeing everything as it is in the divine sense, right? And I mean, you made tremendous, just even hearing your voice notes, you made tremendous movement towards your North Node. South Node in Taurus also sometimes can be a little bit more in the material world. Like I said, like the image I get, I always tell people it's like the person that grows up somewhere, they stay there, they have the same friends, but it's not necessarily that's a bad thing. It's just like not taking the risks um necessary for growth, right? So yeah, um, so really also yeah, just developing that sensitive and caring side is very important. And so with the Uranus, the planet of change on the North Node in Scorpio in the second house, it also reflects your values, right? So it reflects not needing to depend on others for anything. Um, um, like there can be sometimes with the North Node in the or the South Node in the eighth. it's very esoteric, but there can be sometimes a dependence on other people or other systems. Astrology could be an example, right? Of kind of that combination. And in this life, you are meant to really form, I always refer to it as the constitution of yourself, right? Based on your own scorpionic values. So with Uranus there, and hold on, why is it not show like that? Whatever. Yeah, with North Node there already in Scorpio, it's like, about learning to roll with the punches in life, um the Taurus tendency is peace and quiet at all costs, right? And that's great, and some people have the opposite node, right, where their North Node's in Taurus, and they're here to kind of like be in that really. So you'll be a very naturally grounded person, um, and we'll see what the rest of the chart says about that. It's kind of an early statement to make, but um, you know, it's about like not weakening your spiritual growth by resisting change that comes in your life. So a lot of this energy, it will come through. Now I want to tell you, eighth house Jupiter, that's very fortunate for anything. I mean, that's the natural psychologist, psychic, like it illuminates the area of life, like the dark unconscious, um personally and for other people. It's like I always call it a lantern in that area of life. So it's really about, remaining open to new possibilities, and yeah, just kind of being able to strip away the old and let go of what's no longer needed to make way for the new, right? So it's like really, yeah, it's really really about that. And then um so when it comes to personal values, this is where it gets interesting. Part of me is like, do I want to do this on IG Live? Maybe I'll just. Last time I did a reading on IG Live, I feel like I killed it. I just enjoy the pressure. I'm just gonna write doing a client reading on live. Not sure. Unsure how long. I'm just very random. Um, how long I'll leave the live on. Last time was fun. Actually, what's interesting, and like when I did the last reading I did on live, like I got so much, like the chat gave me so many different interesting things. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see if this is the way to go. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. But yeah, so oops, water in me. Why is it like okay, I just turned it on, so all right, IG Live. Not sure how long this is gonna be going for. I'm doing client reading. I already started, so yeah, not sure if I'll post it. Who knows? But anyways, so yeah, what we've been talking about is this nodal journey, right? So you are North Node in Scorpio, second house with Uranus. Um, with the South Node in the 8th house in Taurus conjunct Chiron. So it's clear, you're like I said, you're here to illuminate the unconscious, and Uranus is about the future. So, I mean, the only thing I know about you is that you're a medium and the things you told me, but that makes perfect sense, right? So I said like on a public level, work-wise, that makes a lot of sense, but then also, there's that level of like personally, psychologically, on a personal level, right? So as I was saying, past lives, and let's see if there's anything going on here. Okay. Yeah, so there's definitely been past lives, yeah, where you play them more on the safe side. Um and but like the thing is, like, because you're Libra rising, everything gets flipped. Um, the first house is usually associated with Aries, which is the opposite sign of Libra. So all Libra risings, every planet you have, it gets kind of flipped around, right? So like the fourth house is typically Cancer, connected to Cancer, and you have your Capricorn moon, which is back to back to back Capricorn moon charts. But you have that in the fourth. So yeah, it's interesting what it creates, but it definitely pushes the polarities, right? The 6 axes, heavy. So yeah, anyways, as I was saying, North Node in the 8th, right? Or what am I saying? North Node in the 2nd, right? It's really like you're here to really go within yourself, go within your own intuition, go with, obviously a North Node in Scorpio, they're going to go through lots of death and rebirth. And I know, you mentioned the medical thingamajig, that operation that you have going on. So there's lots of tests like that, right? And lots of evolutions. But you know, the whole point is that it's like the idea of meditating and going within yourself and finding your own value system through going within yourself. What's up, everyone? And last time I did one of these, I got some cool stuff in the chat that I added to the reading. I don't know how long I'll leave this, but I said why not? Yeah. So I can show you guys a chart too, and the name is hidden already, but I wish I could have it posted. So it is a Cap Moon Libra rising. You see it well. A lot of Sag, Stellium, Venus in Cap. Pluto square Venus. And the nodes are, North Node in Scorpio, conjunct Uranus and Juno in the 2nd, South Node in Taurus, conjunct Chiron, 8th house Jupiter. Yeah. So, here's like my sweater. I'm just wearing it because I've never worn it before. On got it for me, or great on. Feels really good. Cashmere, just cold. But anyways, okay. So as I was saying, yeah. So on the personal level, it is really also like it's about creating a new reality for yourself. Um, Sometimes people, so like the South Node, it comes very easily, right? So like it's interesting because it is the house of transformation, alchemy, and just everything related to the sign Scorpio, right? What like I've seen a lot of people who have this who've had like near death experiences and like a very interesting relationship with physical and metaphoric death. But yeah, also there can be, I guess, there can be like, 8th house is also secrets. It's like the esoteric unknown, but I've seen this play out sometimes where there's like a lot of secrets. Um, whether it's like a secret of life, um it's very private. There's a tendency to be very, very private. And that also goes with, with your moon in Capricorn as well, right? So yeah, so when I talk about values and you creating your own value system, with Uranus, it's not going to be conventional, right? And it and I know you've already done that as a medium, right? But yeah, like that maybe early, like when you're younger, maybe that was more difficult for you, right? To move into that authentic way of existing, right? Individualism, right? And like regardless of like, what placements people have, like anything I say, just for the people online, like anything I say in a reading, you can apply it to your life, like everything in astrology, it's archetypes. So um they're universal. But yeah, so I think also like the South Node in the eighth, sometimes like the opinions of other people, like they can matter too much. And so it's really like finding your self-worth within yourself, as opposed to, based on other people's opinions. And that's difficult when you have a Cap moon, right? Because Capricorn moons, on on one level, they want to be accepted, right? There's that emotional need to be to have to give back to society in some way, on a high level, right? But they one thing with Cat moons is they can be very hard on themselves, and they can be very, very um yeah, they can sometimes care. I've seen this more on the men's side than the women's side. I've always seen Cat Moon work better for women than men, interestingly. And the reason why is because I think that it's a Saturn ruled moon, and the whole goal of the moon is to be able to meet your own emotional needs. Like it's in detriment in Capricorn, but so it's like being able to, like, for example, cry, or just be in touch with your emotions. And a lot of times things get blocked with Capricorn moon. So if you think about a young boy versus a young girl developmentally, the young girl might have friendships with other girls where it's normalized to talk about emotions, while the young boy might always, want to be tough, tough, tough. And that's what happens. That's why a lot of Capricorn moon men suffer from depression. And it can be women too, but there's this massive need to let the emotions out. And with your North Node in Scorpio, there's this massive need to really, really go deep within yourself. And so I imagine that you went through some crazy stuff early in life, some things that were not comfortable at all. And you have Uranus. No, 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 no. Yeah, on aspect of Uranus, actually. So yeah, like you definitely probably had to adjust to, you know, changes, and unexpected changes, and ego deaths, and all that stuff. But now it's probably pretty, it's probably something that you isn't so hard for you, right? And you don't have that many aspects, or hard aspects in your chart. You do have Venus square Pluto, which I have, which is a fucking sucks. Fucking shit. Shit, 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 shit. Yeah. I really choked. But yeah, so I'm just gonna talk like this. Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on. It's like shadow work, and you have a huge advantage with the Uranus, because like you're here to, like, it's basically like North Node in Scorpio, the deep shadow work, facing the personal darkness, and then doing it, and then transforming in a way that's also linked to your Uranian individuation, right? So that how I would imagine the conflict being early on, and having to really grow into that is not, and it's not like all Cat moons are like, I have to be, accepted. Like I have, but like that's usually, I mean, a lot of times, like it's very hard working. Sometimes they can judge themselves a lot based on, what they're doing or like, what they're doing or what they're not doing, super high expectations. Um, so yeah. Um, and I think like the thing with this placement, one second, I have a sip of my drinky drink. It's not alcohol, by the way. People, I don't drink alcohol. Mm-mm. But yeah, like a lot of Capricorn Moon people, like they have like the experience, the mother experience. Although it's not, is there like, yeah, it's square Chiron, so that can speak that. Yeah, kind of like a cold, distant, sometimes overly critical mother. That a lot of times, you were meant to step up, really early in life. I don't know if you have siblings or not. I've seen a lot of cat moons who sometimes have to like, it's almost like they're the parent. Um, so yeah, like you have to kind of, the first 30 years for cat moon are quite difficult when it comes to emotional. I mean, they can be, obviously everything is a mix of, the chart and free will, but they can be kind of difficult with emotional expression. They're always deemed to be like the capable one, the strong one, the one that has their shit together. So when a Capricorn moon, because it's ruled by Saturn, so Saturn and moon can be very melancholic and very like isolating at times. Um, when they're going through those times, like they, a lot of times, this is like I said, more with the men in my experience, that they will hide it. They won't want to admit weakness, right? So the thing that, but the great thing, the very interesting thing about Capricorn moons is that when they do start to open up, it's like crazy how much, how big of an effect that has, right? On other people, on themselves. Because a lot of times it's like people see them as the person who couldn't possibly have problems, right? So then they open up and it's like, damn, you know, they have problems. It's very healing for other people and it helps, the cat moon out a lot as well. Um, but yeah, definitely can be very, very workaholic-y, and they always want to create like very solid foundations in life. So when we link it with, your Sag stellium, um, that's, these are different signs, right? I mean, you have a fire sign that's all about change, that has, you have your Mars, is it Kazemi? Yeah. Oh shit, damn, damn, damn. So we just had the Mars Kazemi this weekend, Scorpio. So you have that natally, oof, in Sag. That's crazy. Also, your birthday is tomorrow. Damn, I wasn't even planning on doing your chart tonight, but happy fucking birthday. Or happy birthday, excuse me, right? Language. But damn, damn, damn. So yeah, your energy level is off the chain. This fire sign, Mars Kazemi. So yeah, obviously, as you probably witnessed this weekend, that shit can make people angry as fuck. And you need to have like an athletic or creative, like something that you're doing physically. I think every Mars Kazemi needs that, right? Basically, the Mars and Sun are we're so close, they're 0.06 away. I have this, but with Mercury, so it's different, it's like the mind. But basically, what happens when a planet's Kazemi, the Sun, that planet becomes a superpower. It takes the power of the Sun. The Mars, the planet of action, of assertiveness, aggression, sex, um, more than that, but that's enough. Um, yeah, like that just becomes like especially in a fire sign that's very strong, like it's explosive and it's in your third house. So, you're probably very, very, and you have Neptune there too with Mercury, like in an exact conjunction. So that is like in that literally right there. I wish I didn't know that you're a medium. I wonder if I would have guessed it. But like 0.03 away, like that's crazy. Like that is like, whew, like that's just like someone who can connect. to, the collective unconscious, who's able to, just really, really, you know, um, be dialed in with their intuitive insights and, you know, just extremely, vivid imagination and someone who can really take on, also, you got to watch out for that. I'm sure taking on other people's energy, other people's thoughts, because you can literally read people's thoughts. And a lot of people who have this are not aware of it, and it just fucks them up because they can be like in a room or an environment and just taking on other people's energy or any other people's thought waves, and then they get depressed and they're like, why am I depressed? I don't get it. Well, maybe it's because you were next to Mr. Depressed Fuck for 6 hours. So, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, your third house is so interesting. So, I mean, that's like you would make an amazing writer. Just communication in general is a strong suit, and because it's Sagittarius, you're able to see the big picture. Um, so you're able to speak in this very, and like you're able to speak endlessly, right? Um, and also you're very like you're so curious, you're able to really dive deep into research. And that's another thing about North Node Scorpio, right? Is that it's really wanting to uncover the secrets of life, whether they're dark, light, whatever. So with the Sagittarius, that is very much like all about the big picture, all about truth, all about perspective. So, that gives like this open-minded energy. Well, the shadow of Sag is that it can be dogmatic. Like it can be like, I've spent so much time, finding my version of truth that everyone needs to believe the same thing as me. Um, but yeah, I mean, like just with Uranus, with your North Node in Scorpio, like Mercury with Neptune, 0.03 separate is just crazy. And then like in the same house at three, another like you have like two mega close conjunctions, right? It's not a cazimi unless it's with the sun, but 0.03 with Mercury and Neptune, 0.06 with Sun and Mars. So these, it's like these two teams, but they're still in the same house in the same sign. So it's like these two little mini teams. One's like your mega, like your solar power, which like never runs out, which is also very good for your physical body, your physical vitality, right? Um, so that's that. But then and then also like it makes you just want to explore the world, and it's that axis of Gemini Sag, right? Wanting to go in the world and be in your immediate environment, talk to lots of different types of people, but then also tie everything that you learn. You probably are someone who's touched this topic, this subject, right? But then tying them to grand philosophies. That's what Sag is all about. um Sag, it needs the truth, right? Some people who have charts where they don't really need that, but yeah, Sag, it needs that. And that's the goal of Sag, right? It's to find the ultimate truth, and then also, understanding that there's different truths for different people, right? And that's what I was getting into. The shadow is that, yeah, like like a lot of times Sag people, they have spent so much time, myself included, I've been through this Sag moon, so much time like finding our own philosophies, finding our own truth, that when we find something like for me with astrology, right, that's so powerful, we want everyone we love to know about it. That we can be, or even random people we meet, that we can just like push it, like just try to push it down people's throats in a sense, and it doesn't work. Like I mean, I've definitely made it work a few times, but just the amount of energy I used doing that was crazy. But yeah. So just understanding that like you can plant seeds, but at the end of the day, everyone comes to their own conclusions at their own time. So yeah, I think that's interesting how those two team up. Um, and yeah, so you yeah, and I think the Capricorn moon in your case helps you because it is Neptune. Yeah, so it helps you because it's actually one great thing about Cat Moon is it with look 25 is it with Vega? Is it 15? No. Which one is it with? Fuck. 25. 25 Cap is what? Tripping. I'm thinking of something else. I did open this. Let's see what it says. Okay, that doesn't mean shit. But yeah. So boundaries, cat moons are good with them. And I think that, having this just brilliant energy. Now I wonder if you have any of the markings, like is your okay, so Chiron and Aries, um in is there a cat? Oh, it's Esme. So yeah, so that's interesting. Chiron and Aries, um, square moon, right? And then you have the moon square moon. So a lot of times I see that, and you know, there's sometimes some difficulty with the mother karmically, and I always tell them like, uh, it, a lot of times, and people like I'll tell people this, and they'll be like, it sounds so accurate. It's like between lifetimes trading like one person's mother in this life, one person's mother in this life, and they just trade back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then you know it's about it's just this continuation of a site of some type of pattern, and so really really dialing in on that relationship is really important because whatever it is, you don't want to just keep going back and forth, right? And um yeah, like I said, the Cat Moon square Chiron. Um, I think that there can be, it definitely makes one very, very sensitive to other people's emotions, very compassionate. But early on, you probably didn't get the nurturing that you needed. Um, and a lot, and this is common for the Cat Moon experience, like you may have felt like you had to be your own parent and or like be the mom of your mom, right? So yeah, like and like with the Cat Moon style, it just that makes it even harder to really show, vulnerability. But it's with the North Node in Scorpio, right? Working through emotions, addressing anything in that realm, any darkness, and the deep empathy comes from these types of like all healers have some kind of difficult placements that lead them to be, like if you've never gone through anything difficult in your life, how are you gonna be able to help someone in the sense of like, um, you know, like I honestly think like a lot of the shit I go through is to keep me, empathetic, right? But yeah, so that's a big healer one. I see that in a ton of healer charts. But the challenge, yeah, with this, and obviously gets easier after the Saturn return after 30, is yeah, showing that nurturing side and nurturing yourself. Because if you didn't get it from the mother or just the early family, then it's difficult to give it to yourself, right? So that's the challenge. I think of that one is a big time mother wound. Um, that's my ear real quick. So yeah, but yeah, there'll be lots of chances to overcome that, and yeah, like I said, your nodes are squared by the moon, so um, yeah, like I said, that's that's the difficult karma there. And I would say also moon square nodes, I feel like there's, you learned via experience. Um, that's your teacher. So, yeah, it's just about understanding that everything that you've done, everything that you continue to do, like it's all a lesson, and gets you closer to that north node. And yeah, so it's super interesting because like the Chiron and Aries, and let's see, yeah, so you have a ton of fire. So this is what kind of like doesn't make sense to me. Um, well, I'm sure it will, but so Chiron and Aries, typically there's a wound around being assertive. And a lot of times people with that, in my experience, lack fire in their chart, but you have a ton of fire, right? Especially with that Kazemi, right? That Mars, that Mars Kazemi in Sag, like that, like you got to be doing like getting your 10,000 steps every day, or something like, yeah, that because that can be, it can turn into like really extreme anger. Um, but also it can make daredevils and Sag, and it can make just someone who's so driven towards gaining knowledge and wisdom and traveling the world. And yeah, but anyways, that's kind of how I see that a lot, often, right? Is that and it's in the seventh too, right? So it could actually just be more circumstantial based on that house, where maybe like in certain areas of life you're able to really assert yourself, but maybe in relationships, mainly romantic relationships, but also like, you know, partnerships, BFF, 1,000%, 7,000. I don't care what anyone says, like that is not 11,000, 7,000. Like the close BFF relationships, 7,000 as fuck. Business partnerships, even clients, with your clients, right? So I think, well, actually, it makes so much sense. Yeah, I see so many healers with seventh house Chirons, like literally, like seventh house is your clients. So, um, yeah, but a lot of times there is this kind of feeling of being rejected romantically, and yeah, like it does create people who can have, relationships where they are able to overcome kind of that pain. But yeah, I mean, it's not always easy, especially early in life. And then yeah, in Aries, so maybe, usually the way I see Chiron in Aries is like fear, self-assertion. Aries is, that's a sign of like putting yourself out there. But you have a Mars Kadimi, so I just cannot make sense. The only way it makes sense of this is that in some way, maybe in relationships, because of like the Libra placements you have, um, you know, maybe it's difficult for you to put your foot down in that area of life. Um, but yeah, also, which is really interesting because you are, having an operation that related to your head. Chiron in Aries is literally related like to head wounds. Like, I'm not joking. So that's pretty wild. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you have so many gifts, like being like, yeah, I mean, like you're very spiritually protected through your work, and you attract abundance. Um, you probably, you have like a very, pull something up really quick. Yeah, you have like a very, like internally, like just very, very philosophical person, right? So if we talk about partnerships, I'm not sure, if you're married or not, or whatevs, but it would be very hard for you to be with someone who isn't open-minded, isn't willing to kind of go and speak philosophy, and could be someone from a different culture, not necessarily, right? But just, you know, that Jupiter energy. Like I always say, like for that, and I feel like a lot of people who follow me and who get readings from me have, even if it's not in their chart, like they're Jupiterian, they're open to like the idea of like anything is possible, right? And it sucks to be around people who like shut that down. Um, so yeah, so that's important for you with any kind of relationships, right? Um, so you have Algol. Is it on? Mm, so yeah, I mean you've got a lot going on in that eighth. Um, but Algol Jupiter, um, Algol is very, it's the Medusa star, and I'm looking to see, yeah, because Kepler. Okay, so yeah, um, I feel like it gets a bad rep. I mean, obviously it can be like a fucked up star, but you know, beheadings and whatnot. But with Jupiter, there's a lot of artistry is linked to Algol. Um, so it also with Jupiter, it can be very, very good with wealth, and um, there's not any bad aspect. It's actually just a trine with your moon, which is a very good aspect. And that's it. So, um, yeah, like yeah, it's a good placement. And it's very good for, yeah, very good for art. Um, and it's definitely the best placement for Algol, right? It's just like amazing for creative talents, right? Lots of musicians, artists, all that stuff, and even to the point where you can make a living from it. But then, like for example, if you had Saturn with Algol, which you don't, that makes it really difficult to avoid, severe injuries, and Mars Algol, yeah, like things like that can be very difficult. But yeah, so to have eighth house Jupiter, it's like having like a flashlight in the area of life related to your North Node. So you're a natural psychologist, and I would say, yeah, in Jupiter in Taurus, it's like, very good for money and very good for manifesting. Cats everywhere. Abundance. But it's just like I would say it's in any chart. I don't like I'm sure that it's not an issue for you, but just making sure that it's not an over obsession, because I've seen it a lot where like, Cap Moon, Jupiter and Taurus, right? Um, money and all that and everything material can be too important, but like, you don't really have, and because yeah, even because like even your Uranus in the second house, that can make money be very up and down, right? Um, like it can be kind of random and unstable, like sudden changes in income, right? And it is also very creative placement, especially as we were talking about with creating your own, um having these own very individualistic values. Like when I mean, like really what I mean by that, it's like, especially as a Libra rising, the shadow is to be people pleasing, right? Now you have Pluto there, so that makes you like a very powerful Libra, right? Um, but still, Libra rising, even with the Pluto influence, which yeah, is a great leader, powerful personality, all that stuff. I think that there is that potential for being, for putting other people's needs too high on the pedestal, right? So, um, yeah, I just think when it comes to Uranus, that it can really make things go up and down, and when I'm talking about your set of values, right? It's like when there's a decision, not basing, like, let's say, like, you have a decision make. It's like, because you've gone within yourself, which is Scorpio, and you've really gotten to know yourself and gone through individuality, through that process of individuality, Uranus, you understand yourself, and now, like, that decision, you're basing it off of, like, this, like, code, like this constitution of you, right? So that's what I mean. It's too easy to just, like, allow other people's views to influence yours. So, yeah, early in life, that could have been potentially something, because, like, we start more in our south node, right? Like, we move towards our north node. So understanding your south node, like, it just it's very common for people to be in that energy for the start of their lives, right? And then they grow and they move into it. But yeah, I think, yeah, Jupiter and Taurus, as I was saying, is great. Um, Great for business, for finances in general. It expands everything, right? So it just makes someone really appreciate nature and um anything that's sensory, right? And able to really get into your own body. But the risk I've seen with Jupiter in Taurus is hedonism, and I wouldn't say addiction, but getting, like, being lazy. But you're a cat moon, so don't worry about that, and you have a fucking Mars Kazemi. But I'm just saying, right? it yeah, it can lead to that in certain charts. I've seen it. um and yeah, it's great for, like I said, great for making money, but also, spending, right? So it's about finding that good balance between the two, because, like I said, the Uranus second house can make the fortunes go up and down. But the big thing about Uranus second is like, when you're more aligned with spiritual values, like the person who has a Uranus in the second, who is, like, very much obsessed with, I gotta make as much money as possible, blah 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 blah, they're gonna have it a lot harder than the very spiritual person who's giving back and who's thinking more about their metaphysical value of what they're doing than the physical. Of course, like, regardless of what you do, you need to, you do need to have the energetic exchange and and earn your living, right? But it's just that balance, right? So yeah, just like, I guess, with the only thing I would say about Jupiter and Taurus is, like, overindulgence and just, like, over attachment to the material. But I don't see that being bad for you. Let's talk about love a little bit. So obviously, Cat Moon, you know, I just have, like, this such a similar chart. It's so crazy. So yeah, Cat Moon, Cat Venus in the fourth, right? So you definitely, um want, you value foundations. You take things slow. Capricorn Venus is very good. Like, they do well with people that are older or more mature. Um, you don't want someone who would, like, I love when I do these with people who are married, because, like, I have no idea, and then you get to see if that person aligns with what I'm saying. Um, but anyways, yeah. So Capricorn, yeah, they don't want to mess around in relationships. They want to take things slow. They want to have someone that's more mature, that they can learn from, that they respect. that isn't mucking around. And I always think of it as like you're building a building, you want a really solid foundation to the building, right? So that's how they approach relationships cautiously. They take their time. They can be quite shy, especially at the beginning, but very, very loyal, very, very loyal. And just cat moons in general, like sometimes people don't trust them. It's not that. It's like just because like they can have issues with opening up, people just can misunderstand them, I guess I would say. But usually, like I've never met a cat moon that I've considered like a bad person. I'm sure they exist, but I've never met one. Annoying, yes, but like a bad person. But like even usually the women I meet with that are pretty chill. Especially actually one of my good no, she's a Scorpio. Um, but yeah, I have some good friends with cat moons that are very laid back. So but not not like not men, dudes that have cat moons. I'm trying to think of one that I met that's been like laid back. Yeah, because they just have they can just be so repressed. And yeah, so it's just really with a cat moon, it's like it's being able to get the emotions out, understand that it's a very karmic placement. There's stuck emotional patterns. You want it to flow like water, but it's really stuck like rock in certain times, certain areas, certain parts of your emotions. So doing things to get that water moving, right? Which is back to your North Node Scorpio, interestingly. So, okay, love, as I said. So yeah, the Capricorn obviously is a big part of it with Venus and Moon. You definitely like fourth house, like you want that relationship to feel very comfortable, like metaphorically, like there's like a homey vibe to it. Maybe, one, where you'd want to start a family with that person. Or just, have like a very, yeah, just like really comfortable. It's like, metaphoric and physical, like a comfortable place that you guys both live. That's very harmonious and all that and beautiful, but also, from the standpoint of the metaphor of like wanting that person to like just having a lot of comfort with that person. So yeah. Um, of course, like with all the Sag energy, you need, you have that need for freedom, that need for speed. No, well, yeah, you do have a need for speed with the Kazemi, but like, you know, obviously a need for freedom and a need for someone to understand you, right? Like, um, you know, you have some very special gifts. So yeah, obviously it goes without saying, not being with someone who shames you in any way, shape, or form. And I would say also just, you know, someone who's not shying away from the emotional stuff, right? So yeah, I mean, you have no water in your chart, but you have your North Node there in Uranus, no personal planets in water. So it's like very like to me, I always look at that as like a key of like an advanced soul, because it's, the energy that you, and then with Earth, your South Node, you have your you have your Venus, you have your Moon. Um, yeah, so it's like you have a lot more like energy, like the personal planets, right? They are, the big three: Mercury, Mars, Venus. They're the conscious energies within us. You have a lot more of that might be pulling you back towards your South Node than you have energy helping you move towards your North Node. So you're really trying to navigate that on your own, right? So yeah. Um, but back to what I was saying, I mean, your Juno is right there with your North Node. So Juno I look at as, I've always used it in charts, and it's super effective. So it's with Uranus, right? So it's like your ideal partner. I look at it that way. It's like your ideal partner. Um, so someone who who's very loyal. Obviously, that goes with like everything with a Capricorn too. But where there is that ability to go very, very deep, um, you know, and where the like it can be like a very soul bonding, intense relationship, but then also, you know, like it's like yeah, very solid foundation, but then with Uranus conjunct it, and also the fact that it's in a second, that just makes you really want someone who is on your level, and it's with the North Node, so like that's just showing that it's going to be very, very karmic, right? Like whoever, if you're who you are married to, or these very important relationships, Kumika. But yeah, like Uranus adds this dimension of needing freedom. So it's like you want something. I literally, this is like so similar to what I just said to the reading I did before this. It's like you want things that are very, very um very grounded, where you can rely on them, especially over time, and they'll probably get better over time. Everything in your chart gets better over time. Saturn, right? Um, but then also there's that need for freedom. So it's like being able to go to those emotional places when you need to, but then also making sure that you're not losing your North Node journey, and still keeping up with your individuality, right? That's super, super important. Keeping up with keeping your individuality. So, two people who have their own lives that aren't necessarily just like stuck together, right? And where they to the point to where they lose their identity. But yeah, and of course with Chiron the seventh, and this, the descendant in Aries, like yeah, you have you learn a lot from your relationships, and yeah, it could also, yeah, like a level of action orientedness as well, which goes with the Uranus energy. And yeah, your vertex is there too. So, you learn a lot via relationships. It's kind of like your doorway to higher awareness, if you want to call it that. And it's not just the romantic ones, like I said, it's the business partnerships, the clients, all that stuff. And yeah, so it creates a lot of destiny in that realm. If you're married to someone who has prominent Aries placements, that would be interesting. Wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, you learn a lot about yourself through relationships, and um, it's just very, very important, right? And then it also just speaks very, very well about your job as a medium, right? And yeah, I would say like Vertex and Aries, it is just you know you have to just go after it. You have to go after that fiery energy. What's really burning within you have to just go after it, and be kind of like a pioneer in your field, and just in your life in general, right? And I think I would be willing to, I mean, I would not be surprised at all if there is a very long process in your life, right, where you had to kind of like get past this this not giving a fuck energy, right? I'm gonna put my crystal in my eyes. It was so good. But I bet you it wasn't always easy, and it was something that was probably quite difficult for some time. Maybe you came into your current work because you were always interested in your talents, but I mean, I don't see that much in the chart about being shamed for them, to be honest. But yeah, maybe it was just something that the Capricorn moon wanted to like do something more, I don't know, societally acceptable, societally, forgetting English, accepted by society. Society, can't speak. Okay, whatever. Anyways, yeah, but like even like Black Moon Lilith, like in Taurus, like I kind of said that earlier. It's like, just maybe that was something that happened. That, yeah, that was like a weakness early in life, right? Like over like fear of losing it, over obsession with the material, want just maybe controlling too much, not wanting to allow yourself to go through that North Node in Scorpio change, right? You need to do that, right? You need to allow yourself to do that. Where was my mind going? It was going to, oh yeah. Okay. So adding to the love stuff, obviously, you need to have the philosophical conversations. It could be someone foreign. Um, so funny how similar your chart is to the last reading I did. It always happens to me. But some people say like in a woman's chart, Jupiter is the husband. I've never really seen that to be true, but you know, who am I to talk? Like, I'm not saying I don't think it's true. I just haven't proven it through, you know, the many, many readings I've done. But it's in Taurus, right? So, um, I think that kind of just goes hand in hand. I mean, it trines your moon exactly, right? So it's like it just speaks to like the consistency and all that. Also, moon trine Jupiter 0.09, like that's such a beautiful placement. That's like I already know, like I can feel people's energy. I think it's this Neptune transit. That's, I mean, it's just been more and more than ever. But like I can kind of feel, even though I've never seen a photo of you, I don't know. I can kind of feel the energy. Like if someone has like a tense energy, I can feel it. Like I feel this lightness in you, you know? So this is like really making up for some of like the difficult aspects of a cat moon. Moon trine Jupiter, what a blessing, you know? Just so like optimistic, able to see the big picture, generous, very good natured. It, just super like it's very good. Like people enjoy, you have this like very optimistic internal kind of energy, right? So you're able to be structured, but then see the big picture and not freak out about little shit. And yeah, just be a joy to be around and it's just like a mate. Like, I mean, it doesn't get much better. I think a moon trine, I could do a study on like moon trine Jupiter, and I guarantee you they're like, I mean, obviously it's the whole chart, but very happy. Like this, you're very happy, probably most likely a very happy person. Um, yeah, very cheerful, like probably one of the happiest cat moons ever. Um, Not that cat moons are unhappy, but they can be. But yeah, you've got the square of Chiron, so that could make it, yeah, a little bit difficult, but not so bad. And so many signs of intelligence. I mean, yeah, like I said, you have like the psychic Mercury in Sag with Neptune. It's also trine Saturn. That's like really, really good for intelligence. It's like very good for common sense, for planning, just having like a very good memory. So a very good intuitive and logical intelligence. So you could like really work well in, with the right brain and left brain type stuff. So, let's see here. Here's Saturn and Leo. Interesting. You have Chiron in Aries, Saturn, and Leo, but then you have a bunch. You have that Sag stellium. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's the big one. This is one that I have, so I know a lot about it. Venus square Pluto. Fucking sucks. Oh shit, you have it exact. Damn. My friend has this. So this one, every time I talk about it, people are like, "Yep, yep," and when they've matured, um, matured and gotten older and more mature. I literally just said the word mature like 18,000 times in a row, but that's just how you gotta do things these days. Um, yeah, like hold on, sorry, I just had to do something really quick, really quick, really quick, really quick. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just sending a link. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. Um, my train of thought. Lost my train of thought because I was trying to do two things at once. Um, yeah, Venus square Pluto. So it is one of those ones that everyone is just like, yeah. So basically, there's an exact correlation between how much you love yourself and value yourself and your relationships, which sounds obvious on the surface. But and someone asked which aspect for intelligence. I was talking about Mercury trine Saturn, but also sometimes with trines people can take them for granted. But it's a good, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah. So Venus square Pluto, it's just funny. Like, I mean, it's not funny. Like, but it gets easier with age. But people with that, like, usually there can be a level of like it just makes the most like toxic. Like a lot of people with that, like, when they're not completely in that like self-love energy, they can just take on like the most toxic fucking like, yeah, like I had this like, I swear I was like on a streak of dating girls with undiagnosed borderline personality disorder when I was younger. So good times. But yeah, the whole point is um it really complicates relationships until like, so it makes someone really like, it can add like an obsessive energy. So like there's like this interesting like repulsion obsession. So like, you can be repulsed by some people and obsessed by others, right? And like when you like someone, and like I said, this gets a lot easier with age. um like for me, I feel like it's like doesn't really exist anymore, or I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's more like, like I would say it's more like um especially like when you're not like with that person. Like when you're like with that person, you're kind of in your chill and everything's good, right? Actually, no, that's not true because I had relationships where I was with that person. It was not, yeah. So basically, what it is that you fall really deep, really fast, really intense, and it can be very very overbearing, and um, it can create all this shadow work that comes out through relationships, and ultimately, it's all about you because Venus is all about self love. But you think it's all about the other person. So it can create like the whole manipulation, power struggles, just like really dramatic like relationships, like the shit you see on some TV shows, right? Um, and it is just all like the painful realization at the end is like it's all about self love. And because Pluto represents the darkness and like even criminals in the underworld, like I literally have seen people, my friend actually, who like has dated the most psycho dudes ever. Like literally, like most possessive psycho, like this guy actually like hit her dad, like who she had to get like a restraining order, and like that wasn't her first, and she's not even like, she's a smart girl. And yeah, like that aspect, yeah. So it's crazy, but yeah, just attracting very dangerous plutonian partners who mistreat you. And that's, yeah, it's all like a subconscious attraction because of poor self-image. So when that improves, things improve, and then you can transform. I always said it. I need to coin my quote of um aspects, hard aspects turn into assets, right? That's the whole thing. It's like, so Venus Pluto can create someone that is very, very, very determined, um, that really like wants a relationship that's very, very deep, and that's life changing and all that stuff. But they just have to get past the yeah. And I think a lot of this, what I've noticed for a lot of people, they're let me think about this for a second. So if there's a fear of abandonment, right? So a lot of times this is accompanied by a fear of abandonment. And so if there is a fear of abandonment and you have Venus square opposite Pluto or in conjunct, um, then it can get really, really difficult, right? And like like it can just make someone super controlling and clingy and needy and insecure and like constantly obsessed and worried. Like that's the only thing going on, right? And yeah, and of course, like using power to force someone to love you doesn't end well, right? So, yeah, but it really, I mean, it's just one of those placements where it's like through these really intense relationships, you learn about your own shadow, which pushes you to your North Node in Scorpio. So I would not be surprised if my guess that relationships, with especially with Chiron there, of the more dark essence taught you a lot about yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if that was correct. Excuse me, taught you a lot about your own shadow and maybe even pushed you towards a more spiritual route in your life. That one. Mika. Um, so yeah. So I mean it all makes sense. All love stuff. Now, mm, yeah, but you're someone that needs, like I said, you need to be able to just go. You don't need to be checked like yes, you like to have solid foundations where you don't have to worry about things, right? Everything's all good, all understood. You don't have to have like this deep talk, like you and like a partner, or like a yeah. But this Sag energy is so adventurous. Like I would be so surprised if you haven't traveled so many places. And if you don't have like a deep, or like I would be surprised if you weren't a competitive. I mean, I would be surprised, but like I could definitely see you having been like a very competitive athlete early on, or at least have had like the potential, or yeah, for sure, that Kazemi. But yeah, okay. So let's see here. So okay, so Saturn. So yeah, you don't have that many aspects, which is nice because the last chart had like a million. Mm. Yeah, like just like I would say the one thing with the Kazemi also is just like impulsivity. Um, it is super hardworking, never running out of energy, but um, yeah, just like taking too many risks. You just gotta think about things, right? But the fact that you're medium, um, it's 0.17 for Kazemi, um, is very good, very good, very good. All right, okay, so let's see here. So the moon rules your midheaven in Cap, so fourth, 10th, yeah. So I mean, overall, having an emotional connection to your career, very important. Wanting to have that feeling of security, of safety. Um, you know, perhaps caring for others. But I think what gets brought up here is the balance between home life, like 10th, 4th, Cancer, Capricorn, like having like the good work, um, work, home life balance, and just the outer, inner, feminine, masculine, all that has to be down correct. Um, but I think that you really, yeah, you really want to be doing something that you feel like you're really, really giving back. Um, and I could see it being very frustrating, um, doing something where you don't feel like you are, right? Pisces, it's your sixth house, so you want to have your spirit. You want to have like a spiritual practice, right? In third house, Neptune, because not the close conjunction. So it's like yeah, like definitely want to be speaking about spiritual topics that open your mind to new horizons on a daily level. And um the work life, like the kind of the work life, right? The go to like the kind of, for lack of a better word, rat race. I don't know, like just like the kind of like 9 to 5. There you go. That's way fucking better. Um, that's hard for like a sixth house Pisces. Um, but you have such an endless source of energy that you could make it happen regardless, right? And Libra risings are very, very, very good socially. Pluto, uh, it's 10 degrees, so it's like kind of like, not like it's like nearly rising, but it might as well be rising. But um, yeah. So you are someone who would do a lot better working for yourself, which I imagine you do. And even I'll talk about Saturn in a sec, but it's interesting that's in Leo in this in the 11th, because like with your cat moon, I definitely think that you are very cautious with friends. Like you probably don't, like you're not someone who's just gonna, like the Sag energy, yeah, like it's very like, come on, yeah, let's do this. So like that's like the split, and there's splits in like nearly everyone's chart, right? Like a split in psychology is where there's you know, two or more contradicting parts of who you are, right? So yeah, so the Sagittarius, and then learning about them through, it gives you that awareness to be able to bridge the gap, right? So, and like even in numerology, they have like bridge numbers, which are sort of strategies to bridge the gap between differences in different core numbers that you have. But yeah, okay. So yeah, with Sag, it's so interesting that you have like Saturn and Chiron and fire, but then the stellium and Sag. Very interesting to me. But yeah, like I think with friends, like definitely not, like, yeah, they have to prove themselves over time. Mika, come here. Mika, come. Come. Hey, Mika. Me. Give me a kiss. Mika. 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 Kiss. Kiss, Mika. 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 Good girl. Kiss, Mika. Good girl, Mika. Yeah. That is Mika, 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 Mika. Um, so let's see here. So if Esme would come, we would get some actual astrology help. But she's not coming. Esme, come here. Come help me. No? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely like kind of the mantra of fewer friends, but like it's better to have a few really close friends than a bunch of friends that are whatever. But like, that's what I'm talking about with this split. It's like the Sag energy is very life of the party, very, very social. I mean, I don't think it gets more social than Sag. I mean, in the sense of like just, life of the party, wanting to be friends with everyone, wanting to just go here, go there, go here, go there, super optimistic, super open. So I do imagine you, especially with your moon trine Jupiter, being quite good with, being very, very likable. Um, Maybe it was until your Saturn return, first 30 years, that it took some time to kind of open that up, and that might have related to that potential shift from like materiality, or being like a little bit more material. Like maybe you've always been spiritual, but like my assumption, I'm not sure, is that it's shifted throughout the years, like to where you're like way more, I mean, it's good to have a balance, right? But yeah, there's just a lot, in the chart that could show that being the case, but who knows? But yeah, knowledge always really, really important to you. And just, yeah, just very social also. So that's kind of a tricky one. But I would say that, and your part of fortune's there too. So, yeah, so I think like, hmm, I would say that like Saturn 11th, it can definitely make people more shy in large groups of people, and more picky and choosy typically around, who they really allow in. But we have to look at the whole chart. So like, yeah, you can like be someone who's like in this is okay, this is kind of how I see it. Um, I you're probably like really careful with who like is like a real friend. Like I always say like I have like different circles, levels. I don't know, it's weird. Like little like the like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I don't actually like write them down, but like I just kind of imagine like different levels of like closeness, right? Um, so maybe it's something like that where it's like you might have like tons of friends, right? But in terms of like the people you truly let in, um, perhaps that's a bit lower, right? Like perhaps that's like a little bit more hard to achieve. And but yeah, like I said, a lot of times I've seen the Saturn 11th house people post Saturn return meet um meet a lot, or like start to be a lot more open with respect to um letting people in and whatnot. But yeah, sometimes there can be like more of like a serious um energy about friendships. And 11th house is not just friendships, it's also humanitarianism. It's our like larger than life goals. So I think that like your life purpose would really have been activated post Saturn return. And you know like you're on it, right? You're on it, and very, very serious, able to have like a very serious um attitude towards accomplishing like your true like lo- like the major, major, major goal. Um, but it's not a bad place to have Saturn at all. I mean, it's ruled by Aquarius, which in traditional astrology, a co-ruled Saturn. Um, so yeah, it feels comfortable in that house. And it can really, I think in your case, because it does have, yeah, I mean, it's not really, yeah, I mean, it has only good aspects. Um, I think actually, like, come to think of it, it would give you a lot of like really long lasting friendships, right? I think actually this is like a really, really good placement for it, right? Um, and like friendships that last a long time and that get better with age, right? So, and people who like support you, who are stable, um, and yeah, who can like, yeah, like just really, really good relationships. Um, Also, I'm gonna take a little guess right here. Tell me if I'm right, because I've been right on these lately. Um, I think that you probably had a pretty amazing relationship with one, or maybe more than one of your grandparents. Um, like really, really like good. Um, and just like even old people in general, just like really, and that goes with the Capricorn energy, just really, really enjoying and learn a lot, like taking a lot of wisdom from them. So yeah, I guess like what I was trying to get at before was like it's like because like if Saturn 11th house like has like these established friendships, and this goes to your North Node too, because it's like you have to have like spiritual, energetic room, right, for letting people in. If you don't, like if your life is full energetically, then when some opportunity or something comes, you won't have room, right? So that's one thing that's important. But you know, I just don't think that like 11th house Saturn like opens the gates to their friendship strangers that easily, right? It's like they yeah they need people who can kind of be trusted, over time, and kind of play it more safe in that sense. But yeah, so also like there can be like a lot of delay when it comes to like I said, like your goals and dreams, like your perhaps at like around 30, post 30, 31, like 32, like like that's when like things start to kind of make more sense. Even wealth, you know like 11th house wealth is like a different type of wealth. It's that crazy wealth, right? um well, 8th house can be too. It's different, but yeah. Yeah, but just like a really amazing leader, like you can organize people really well, and it's a good Saturn for sure. Good Saturn. Let me see here what we got. So yeah, so with your Pluto, it's an interesting one. So this is, really interesting because you're a Libra rising, but you have Pluto close to the ascendant. So it gives you kind of a Scorpio like vibe slash Libra. So it's like Venus, which rules your chart, right, in Capricorn already. So it's like this very intense dark aura mixed like, but like that also has its like very light Libra aura, which is the opposite, right? So it's kind of probably very interesting. Um, and maybe at different angles, at different times, different sides come out, right? But yeah, like it's just this really, really this massive, this aura that people can't ignore, and very magnetic, like your personality. So people can become very jealous of you. Like, I think with first house Pluto, you have to learn how to, and I think it helps with Libra, which is so good at seeing other people's perspective, but there can be like this almost like irrational attraction people have to you. I'm not just talking about like sexual or like romantic. But yeah, it's definitely lots of swagger, lots of charm with that placement. And yeah, kind of intrigue. Like people are just like, yeah, just it just gives like a mysterious energy. Like you look at them, and you're like, okay, I think I get it, but I'm not sure, right? And some people, I think the Libra saves you from this, but some people with this can be like pretty scary. Well, actually, interesting. My best friend, no, no, oh no, he has Scorpio Pluto rising, but he's like not intimidating right at all. Yeah. So I don't know, but it's not as close to the ascendant as you. But yeah. Also, there can be like Pluto first house can indicate physical, because the first house is like the body, so that can indicate like physical trauma from early in life. Um. So yeah, yeah. Come here, Mika. Come here. Kiss Mika. 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 Yes. Yes, Mika. Don't buy my computer, Mika. Okay. Yeah. So this is really important. So yeah, Pluto's obviously all about power. Your North Node's in Scorpio. The lowest vibe would be like you going towards, like power, like trying to like control other people, like financial, that kind of power, right? Um, it's about personal power, obviously, right? And a lot of people get that twisted in today's world. That's like the difference between high vibe and low vibe Scorpio. So finding power within yourself as a part of your identity, right? Um, and what happens with a chart like yours with North Node Scorpio is that there's gonna be lots of events in your life that are pushing you to find your own resilience, right? Um, so that is a big thing. And yeah, so I would say like people with this placement oftentimes, especially the cat moon, maybe learned early on that they couldn't really rely on other people and they had to kind of rely on themselves. So, um, like I would say like learning to trust also can be another potential issue. But um, yeah, I think that's the big one, right? Is that it can create someone with a very strong ego. I've definitely seen people with this who are just like super, super narcissistic and just like too much. Um, because they haven't like taken whatever trauma they have and worked with it. Um, and yeah, it's square Venus, which at its lowest can be like the self, related to like self-hate, right? So Pluto is where we transform. So I think Pluto first house people, I always say, do martial arts, do something physical, right? Especially if you have a Mars, a Sun, Mars Kazemi, right? Um, but yeah, like you're able to, like get through all, like it's very regenerative. So like you're able to get through a lot of this difficult shit that comes up in your life. Any Yeah, like if there was severe trauma, you're able to rise above it. And um, I'm thinking of all the first house Plutos I've had. I've had a good amount that have had really difficult trauma or childhoods, but then some it was more events, like getting bullied or something like that. But anyways, yeah, a lot of times there is like abuse when young, violence or something like that. Um, so yeah, what else did I got on that? What you got, Mika? What you got, Mika? First house Pluto. But yeah, like I said, like um, yeah, it's square Venus, so you learn, through your relationships and your self-love. Um, so yeah, it's just like, and that's where you heal your, that Plutonian pain. Well, Plutonian pain. We all have Pluto, right? I told you I have the exact same aspect. And yeah, like you're able to be like I said, like first house Pluto is a very powerful personality, very powerful leader, and lots of healing ability. So yeah. Okay, where are we at? Okay, let's see here. So yes, Mika. Mika, 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 Mika. Number one, Katie. Good. Okay, so Yeah, so I think like yeah, just very disciplined when you put your mind to something, like very, very disciplined. But like I said earlier, there needs to be an emotional connection to it, like work-wise. Um, and I would say that, yeah, I'm curious about this fire thing. Because Saturn and Leo, um, hmm, like with Chiron and Aries, yeah, I mean, like Saturn and Leo, like Chiron and Aries, if it's difficult for self-assertion, just like I was saying earlier, maybe it's just in that domain of relationships. Well, Saturn and Leo, it's like it can kind of make it hard to be in the inner child energy. Um, just like letting loose and having fun, but then you have all that sad, so it's kind of pushing it back. So I think maybe it's like around friends, or in maybe it's like having a more serious types of friendships, right? Where it's like hard to like really just like let loose and just be goofy. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Mm. That's with the Fire of Fortune, but Fire of Fortune's not a planet, but it lands your 11th house in Leo. So what's up, IG? Um, so yeah, like that's kind of like your flow state. Part of fortune, it just lands in it's like a calculation based on your ascendant, sun and moon. So like if it's like ascendant plus sun minus moon plus sun minus ascendant, I forget the exact equation, but it just puts it on a numerical system and it lands somewhere random. So, or not random, but yeah, lands somewhere. So if you 11th house in Leo, and it's just like a very like it's you in your flow state. It's like you're like a very beneficial part of the chart essentially. So in Leo, it's like just really liking to be just like the more that you can kind of be in your creative bag, I guess you could say, in your creative zone, and you're just letting go, the better. Um, and yeah, just like creativity, like when you're able to just be creative and just let go and not have to be so serious. Not saying you are, I'm just saying like yeah, when you can let go and be in the inner child, that's when you're at your best. And when you can create, and when you can just be in that authentic kind of state of just flowing, right? So it's like you have like that very serious placement, right, of like the North Node in Scorpio with Uranus, but like you're also, you have all that Sag too. So it's that kind of balance between the serious and the just having fun, exploring and learning. And I really think a big thing for you is that you're meant to like explore a lot through like you're meant to be someone who like explores a lot, and you're kind of like me in that sense, right? Where like you explore and you find out a lot randomly, like a cat, and then you dig in terms of information about that thing you randomly explored, right? Because that's sad in Scorpio. But yeah, like it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like you need to like really enjoy, and the work you do really needs to have this part that really lights your fire, right? Like it can't. You're not here to be doing something that you don't have that real connection to. And yeah, like people with this, they like the spotlight. They like praise, and yeah, just having a lot to give, and and being able to kind of give your talents to the public, right? That's what I would say. Then you have to look at the sun, right? The sun's obviously in Sag, so it's like nearly in a trine to your part fortune. So um that's quite nice. Quite nice, quite nice. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah. So very cool. Um, well, so yeah, like I was saying, boundaries super important. Cat Moon helps it, but and Pluto I think the first house helps it. So I'm not even that worried about that. Yeah, you don't have that many tough aspects. The thing with the mother is huge. So like even if like, regardless of like what's going on there, um, it's just important to not perpetuate anything difficult. So a lot of people, like I said earlier, they have these karmic relationships with parents, and like they were a mom, like they just keep switching roles. Like one life their mom, next life the other person's mom, and they just switch off, switch off, switch off until they make karmic peace. So even if there's like some bullshit there, you know, you just gotta deal with it. You just gotta I tell people like it was a trick I learned in psychology school. You can, if you don't want to like directly communicate with someone but you want to get the energy out, you write a letter and then you burn the letter. I didn't believe it, but it works. It's interesting. Um okay, so vertex is not a planet, so it doesn't count in aspect patterns. Mm, yeah, so yeah, you just mm, mm, mm. Yeah, so just like you're really here to help people and help ease their suffering, and yeah, you really like to be of service, and you like to, have other people come and help you sort of perfect your skills per se, help you achieve your goals. Very tapped in, and that's going crazy. Let's see some stars. Not forgetting anything. I mean, yeah, you have very few aspects. Yeah, also very, very good researcher. When you put your mind to like learning something, you can go crazy. Let me just look with my eyes. Okay, fix. Mm, 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 okay. Yeah, so um yeah, like even like Saturn trine Neptune, like just very good for following your intuition, and good balance between like the rational and intuitive. And then what's yeah, that doesn't matter. That one. Okay, so let's pull this up. Yeah, interesting to see the South Node with Chiron. And then you're doing this kind of healing work in this life, so you definitely brought that over. Okay, if you guys could see what I'm staring at right now, like a million stars. So I have to like somehow. Yeah, and I have to be able to tell. I'm doing a natal chart reading, nearly done for a client. I'm gonna maybe post it. We'll see. So let's see. Okay, we're looking for fixed stars and asteroids only in conjunctions. That's all that matters. Asteroids do not really matter very much unless they are conjunct important parts of chart. It does not matter what sign you have your whatever asteroid in, besides the four major ones. Does not matter. It's all bullshit. But if they're conjunct important points, that's when they get activated. Okay, let's see. There's a lot of them, so gotta choose the ones that are most important. See, even like that is too big of an orb. Well, that could be, that could reflect some, let me see. That's like the ancestral healing one, right? But also, isn't that like the abuse? Yeah, yeah, it's the one that's all about abuse. Yeah, Nessus is an interesting asteroid, especially well, asteroids matter a fuck ton in synastry. That's where they really come in. Um, but yeah, Nessus, um, that one is interesting because I've seen that in synastry, and it can create like obsession, like real sexual obsession, like not in a weird way, just like being really, really into someone. I experienced it myself. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, like a lot of this shit on the internet, I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't believe a lot until I learn it myself. I mean, there's some sources, but it's too easy. Like I could just make some shit up. Be like, this means this. And okay, let's see what they say here. This one, and intuitively, I can kind of feel into it. This one feels interesting. This one feels kind of so Nessus midheaven, abuse through parents and within childhood, fighting, uncovering abuse can become an occupation or part of it. Recommended therapies, inner child healing, CBT, EMDR. Interesting. So it's saying Nessus with the Mercury is abusive siblings, Nessus moon, abusive mother, Nessus Mars. Interesting. But then like in Sinistry, it's like I've always seen it as just like, wouldn't that be like abuse if you see that? But like I've seen it as like it's like sexual energy. Oh yeah, Nessus Mars is someone with a Nessus opposite. What? They're doing opposite. Oh no, I need to see an example of that. I just don't see. Whatever. Okay, so that is that. So that one's there, and then let's see what else you got. The descendant, nothing. Although I see that degree, I want to see what's going on at that degree of Libra. What is it? 4 degrees, 3. M87, 324, or Zinnia. Look at this one. Why is it not? It's not talking about the ascendant. What the fuck? That is weird. What's it with Zinnia? I mean, this is going to be like minor importance, but it's just curious what it says. Yeah, it doesn't give shit. Gained by legacies and inheritance. Fortunate for love and marriage. Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay. So with a Sagittarius. How far is that one away? 3, 15, 5, 3. Yeah, those are too far. 3, 13. What's this? Oh, nice. Okay. So Vega is with Venus. A good one for money. We already talked about Algol. Jupiter. Okay, let's see what it says. But yeah, I mean, Vega is a nice star. I've seen a lot of very successful people's charts, so I imagine Venus had to pay the way to riches and fame. However, if other influences play a part, this wealth may be lost again. Okay. And I keep okay. Let's look at 3 to yeah. What's up at 3 and 13? Sag. Okay. Akrab. Athletic with Mars. Goes to extremes. Active mind. Good for money matters. But extravagant, has many depths. Can have an active mind. Take these with a grain of salt because it's hard to find good information. I mean, I could Whatever. Okay, so these are like always cherries on top, like I already did the heavy lifting, so yeah. Um, Sun, it says materialistic, too active, a mind, ecclesiastical difficulties, bad health, otherwise similar effect if rising, which it said riches and preferment. Okay, really good for sports, politics, religion, and all matters, public affairs, mentally native is quite active and materialistic. High honors are possible at this conjunction. These days usually get what they go after, what they desire, but not always fully able to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Okay, first of all, I just want to read that one, but I don't know shit about that star, so um, take that one as as you like. So that's pretty much everything. Let me just double check. Mm, mm, mm. Literally like 2 hours. I just did 2 hours and 35. I wish I could do a reading. Like I don't get how people can do a 60-minute reading. I mean, like I can barely keep it under 2 hours. And I even go to numerology, which I could. I just want to see if you have the karmic debt number, or because I obviously can't know your, I don't know your full name, but I can type in 25. Nope, no karmic debt. You are a 5, like the last person. So that's like the number of freedom and change and adventure, free spirit. But yeah, lots of new experiences, upbeat, flexible, curious, impulsive. Be wary of outstretching yourself, of overreaching in search for freedom. But yeah, so, and then life path is kind of what we're here to learn, if I understand correctly. So cool. All right, let's see. This. Yeah, we did it all. We did it all. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. 2 people left in the live. I have no idea how many people were, or 3 people in the live. Um, but thank you, and I will get this to you ASAP. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm gonna keep the live on for a sec, but.